Right now, COVID-19 concerns after a New England Patriots player tested positive for COVID-19 hours after playing at Arrowhead Stadium. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Chris Katz.
And I'm Haley Harrison. The latest athlete to test positive is the reigning Defensive Player of the Year, Stephon Gilmore. Chiefs fans have been concerned after noticing he had an interaction with Chiefs quarterback Patrick Mahomes Monday night. We have team coverage tonight with how the team is handling it and the concern for cases within the team.
We begin with Len Jennings at Arrowhead. Len, Mahomes talked about that brief encounter with Gilmore today.
Yeah, Chris and Haley, right here on Monday night is actually when the Kansas City Chiefs beat the New England Patriots 26-10. And it was during the celebration after the game that Patrick Mahomes said he had a little bit of a mental lapse. Now, here's the video after the final snap. You can see Mahomes kind of embracing, shaking hands with a couple of the Patriots player. And then he had a little bit of a chat with Stephon Gilmore. Now, that chat lasted a few seconds or so, and Gilmore tested positive for the coronavirus. That was revealed earlier today. Patrick Mahomes was asked about that brief encounter and his thoughts on chatting with that Patriots player.
Knowing that I went up to him after the game and just gave him the high five like I've done my whole career, and not thinking about it. It was, a little bit of a mental lapse, just trying to show sportsmanship and stuff like that. But I feel like the protocols in place are good, and I just have to trust in that, wear my mask.
Chiefs had practice today. You saw Patrick Mahomes, the rest of the players, and the staff wearing masks at practice. The Kansas City Chiefs, they're preparing for their showdown AFC West Division rival, the Las Vegas Raiders, right here at Arrowhead on Sunday. Reporting live from Arrowhead, I'm Len Jennings for KMBC 9 News.
And so far, 3 Patriots players have tested positive. Gilmore, quarterback Cam Newton, and defensive tackle Bill Murray from the practice squad. The Patriots canceled today's practice. Head coach Bill Belichick postponed this morning's session with reporters, and right now the Patriots are still set to host Denver Sunday.
And the NFL and the Chiefs are getting help with contact tracing. Listen to this. All players are wearing a device that helps monitor who they have been around in a case where there is a positive case of COVID-19. It's called SafeTag, and it's about the size of a domino. The company has released this promotional video. It can be worn as a watch, a lanyard, or the players can put it inside their jerseys. The device is then able to track who the players have been around and even for how long. Wow. Well, of course, the question now, the really big question is, how likely is it that Patrick Mahomes or any other players could have contracted COVID-19 from Gilmore?
KMBC 9's Emily Hallwick is live at Arrowhead after talking to a doctor about that risk. Emily?
Well, the CDC says the highest risk of transmission is being within 6 feet of someone for at least 15 minutes. And while Mahomes and the rest of the team didn't have contact with Gilmore for that long, the doctor we spoke with said that low risk doesn't mean no risk.
A small interaction could have big consequences.
It looks like it's about 8 to 9 seconds where they are in contact with each other.
Patriots player Stephon Gilmore tested positive for COVID-19 a day after this matchup at Arrowhead, igniting fears of the Chiefs' exposure.
There's things that make it higher risk, and the fact that, potentially Gilmore had his hands on his mouthpiece and on Patrick's shoulders.
Dr. Mark Larson of St. Luke's Health System says other players could also be at risk, though interactions were brief.
Only about 16 plays was he in man-to-man coverage where he had close face-to-face contact with our team, and in most of those it was less than 5 to 10 seconds.
Patrick Mahomes says he's taking extra precautions at home since his fiancée is pregnant.
When I went home over the weekend, I slept in a different bedroom and stayed away from her as much as possible, and until I've kind of gotten these negative tests back. And so I just try to do my part to kind of keep myself away from her and social distance.
Dr. Larson says it can take up to 14 days after exposure for a person to test positive, and that continued frequent testing is critical.
As these PCR tests are very, very sensitive, and so hopefully we picked him up when his viral load was very, very low, and therefore his risk of transmitting the virus was a lot lower than if he had been picked up after he developed symptoms.
And Larson says with daily testing that the Chiefs should be in the clear after about a week or so with no positive tests. Reporting live at Arrowhead, Emily Hallwick, KMBC 9 News.
Gilmore tested negative Monday before the game, but Dr. Larson says with players being tested every day, it's not known if they're contagious before testing positive.
Well, right now the Chiefs game is on for Sunday at Arrowhead against the Las Vegas Raiders. Kickoff is set for noon. The Chiefs are on a 5-game winning streak against the Raiders. The Chiefs remain undefeated. The Raiders are 2-2. The first NFL team with a COVID-19 outbreak, the Tennessee Titans, will have to wait a little bit longer before returning to their facility. 2 more players have tested positive, bringing now the total number of cases to more than 2 dozen. The Titans are set to play the Buffalo Bills Sunday, but the NFL is reevaluating that matchup.
Kansas and Missouri are releasing new coronavirus case numbers this afternoon. Kansas is seeing a slight dip in new cases from Monday, with more than 1,200 new cases. Missouri continues to hover around 1,000 new cases. Positivity rates in both states are down. Missouri is at 15.3% of COVID tests coming back positive. Kansas is at 15%. And the president has been symptom-free from COVID-19 for more than 24 hours and fever-free for 4 days. That's according to the president's physician. A spokesperson for the president says he's back in the Oval Office despite isolation rules. The White House says all staff will wear full PPE when that happens. According to the CDC, he should be isolating for 10 days from his first symptoms and 24 hours after his fever is gone.